Young officer mistakenly arrests experienced lawyer outside her home, unaware she's an assistant district attorney. Have you ever wondered what it would feel like to be arrested on your own doorstep for simply standing outside your home? How would you react if a mistake cost someone their reputation? This is exactly what happened to Officer Alex Carter, a rookie cop determined to make his mark. When he noticed a suspicious person lingering in front of a modest suburban house, he believed he was simply doing his job. But what Officer Carter didn't realize was that this suspicious woman was Assistant District Attorney Rachel Collins, and she was on her own property preparing for an important case. Little did he know that this encounter would turn into the greatest blunder of his young career. Shouldn't police officers take a moment to confirm the facts before making an arrest? How far can assumptions go in creating unnecessary chaos? As Officer Carter approached Rachel, he felt a surge of confidence, fueled by a night of patrolling the quiet neighborhood. He had no idea that his actions were about to spiral out of control. Instead of asking questions, Carter made a snap judgment. Rachel didn't seem to fit in the neighborhood. "Ma'am, turn around and place your hands behind your back," he ordered, confident in his assumption. Can you imagine Rachel's shock and anger? An arrest? Right on her own front step? At first, Rachel thought she might clarify her identity and put a stop to the misunderstanding, but something stopped her. She wanted to see just how far Officer Carter would take his assumption without asking any questions. Let's see if he realizes his error, she thought, standing firm as he handcuffed her. Neighbors who recognized her from the local courthouse gathered, bewildered by the scene unfolding on their normally peaceful street. Wouldn't you expect a simple ID check in such situations? Why didn't he bother confirming her identity? As Officer Carter led her towards his patrol car, some of the neighbors spoke up, but he dismissed them, asserting, "This is official business." Feeling emboldened, he saw himself as a hero, taking down a supposed intruder. Unbeknownst to him, his actions were being witnessed by a crowd who knew the truth. Finally, Rachel spoke up. "Officer, do you know who you're arresting?" But Carter scoffed. "You can explain yourself at the station," he replied coldly. "How would you feel if you were in her place? Humiliated? Angry? What would you do?" Sitting in the back of the patrol car, Rachel calmly decided it was time to reveal the truth. "Officer Carter, if you check my ID in my bag, you'll find out I'm Assistant District Attorney Collins, and I strongly advise you to confirm that before we go any further." He laughed, brushing off her warning. But as they pulled up to the station, the mood shifted. The police chief had received a frantic call from higher-ups, and he stormed out to meet Carter with a furious look. "Do you have any idea who you just arrested?" the chief barked, his voice echoing through the parking lot. Only then did Carter, now nervous, reach into her bag to check her ID. His face turned pale as he realized the monumental error he'd made. This wasn't just anyone. This was the district's top prosecutor, someone who could wield a serious influence on his career. Was this the wake-up call he needed? Should he be held accountable for his actions, or was it an innocent mistake? As Rachel stood silently, letting the gravity of the situation sink in for Officer Carter, she chose to make her expectations clear. "I want a full investigation into this. No one should experience such reckless judgment, especially at the hands of someone who's supposed to protect." Is she being fair? Should Carter face consequences for his actions, or was he simply overzealous? Carter was placed on immediate suspension while the department launched an investigation. Review of his body cam footage made one thing clear. He never checked her ID, didn't follow proper procedure, and assumed he knew the truth based solely on his first impression. Would you expect more caution from an officer? Shouldn't protocol have been followed? The incident became a major issue for the department, raising questions about training and bias in law enforcement. As the investigation proceeded, Carter was held accountable, facing the likelihood of demotion or even dismissal, depending on the review board's findings. Should he have paid more attention to procedure? Or did he get exactly what he deserved? Rachel, on the other hand, took the incident as a catalyst for change. She pushed for mandatory training sessions focused on implicit bias and thorough identification procedures, hoping her experience could prevent others from facing similar treatment. In the end, Officer Carter faced public scrutiny and was demoted, his record permanently marked. But beyond the career setback, he was left with a lasting regret, haunted by his snap judgment. Rachel left him with a final warning. Next time, don't make assumptions. It could save someone's dignity, and it could save your career. Do you think he learned his lesson? Would you have handled it the same way as Rachel did? Rachel's encounter with Officer Carter served as a reminder within the department that a simple mistake could have lasting consequences. Her experience led to discussions about law enforcement practices and became a cautionary tale about the importance of taking a moment to ask questions rather than assuming the worst. In the end, was there a hero or a villain in this story, or simply a valuable lesson in the importance of respect and restraint?